Good evening, Facebook. The 4 o'clock safety board meeting will be starting in about 3 or 4 minutes. There are 3 new hires. I believe it's the gentleman sitting over there. Those are your 3 new police officers and their families behind us. Isaiah, he said his name is Isaiah. I believe one is from Indy, one is from Lawrence, and one is from right here in Anderson. Here's Chief Lee ready to welcome everybody, I guess. I don't know what's going on back here. Lapel. Oh, I guess somebody's from Lapel. Where are they from, Ken?
One guy is from Lapel, and two are from Indianapolis.
Oh, well, I thought one of them was from here. I thought one was from here.
One lives in Anderson, yes.
Oh,
But he grew up in Indianapolis.
Hello. I'm Rebecca. I film the meetings. I hope I don't get to see none of y'all, but y'all gonna be patrolling in Anderson. I don't recognize nobody back there, so. Let's see. Let's turn this off. The meeting has not started yet. This is the Board of Safety meeting. I posted the agenda. They only have 3 new hires and then pay the bills, and that'll be the end of this meeting. The next meeting will be the Plan Commission, and I will stay for that. So this meeting shouldn't be that long. Probably couldn't hear me. Okay, this is the Safety Board meeting. They will be paying bills and hiring 3 new officers. And the chief is here, and the fire chief, and the police chief, and some officers from the fire department and police department. The safety board should be starting at 4 o'clock. They will be hiring 3 new officers. And I guess their family members are back there. And the mayor is here, I guess, to welcome the new officers. And they should be starting in about 1 minute. We got 1 minute. Are you taking vitamins? You said you were tired. Are you taking vitamins? Well, there's other vitamins you can take. I'm talking to Barb. Hello, Mayor. Well, one of them members is not here.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the May 27th Board of Public Safety meeting. We're going to start out by, we have 3 new hires for the police department. The mayor is here. He has something to say about that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, gentlemen. No, I just wanted to briefly spoke to these fellows a few minutes ago. I just wanted to, again, in front of your family and friends, thank you for choosing to serve here with the City of Anderson Police Department. I think you'll find that it's an exceptional department made up of some great folks with great leadership. We work hard throughout the year to make sure that our officers have a lot of great training and great equipment. We'll continue to do that. But it's particularly great because of the people that serve there. And so we welcome you to the department, and thank you again for choosing Anderson. Look forward to working with you over the years. And to your family and friends, thank you for for sharing your family with us and allowing them to work here in this great community. Best of luck to all of you.
Thank you, Mayor. I share your sentiment, gentlemen. I hope you're really excited to be here because we're super excited to have you here. For the safety board, I bring before you today Jalen Page. Jalen's 24. He's a Lapel High School graduate. He has a Bachelor's of Science from Trine University, and he has 1 year of law enforcement experience with the Ball State University Police Department. Joseph Morris. Joseph is 22. Went to Indianapolis Metro High School. He has 1 year of law enforcement experience with the Marion County Sheriff's Department and currently resides in Castleton. Isaiah Bond is 25. He went to Lawrence North High School. He's a U.S. Army veteran. He is engaged with a child on the way, and he resides in Anderson. I would seek your approval at this time to hire all three.
I make the motion to accept Jalen Page, Joseph Morris, and Isaiah Bond on the Anderson Police Department.
I second that.
David, how do you vote?
Yes.
Chairman McKinley?
Yes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, we're gonna swear at you now.
Turn around. Face shield.
I'm over here now, like you did, you want to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully
and I will faithfully
and impartially
and impartially
discharge my duties
discharge my duties
as a member of
as a member of
Anderson City Police Department
Anderson City's Police Department
for the City of Anderson,
for the City of Anderson,
according to law
according to law
and to the best of my ability.
and to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
It's nice to see them hire a minority.
Yes, it is nice. We just hope they treat them right. Nice. See how well that work out.
Who I was gonna ask?
I gave them bad news already. One donut shop is already out.
Well, they don't look like they eat no donuts no way.
Yeah, they're not there yet.
Yeah. Ain't nobody got no pop bellies. Well, those are your three new police officers. Well, we'll see who's pay the bills and now y'all got to speak up.
I'm showing a total of $1,362,863.59. Of that, the police department is $71,717.21. I didn't see any unusual bills in that.
I make a motion for the stated amount.
Second.
David, how do you vote?
Yes.
Chairman McKinley?
Yes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
Fire department's almost equal amount of money, $72,793.27, and they all carry the normal bills also.
I make a motion to accept the stated amount for the fire department.
Second.
David, how do you vote?
Yes.
Chairman McKinley?
Yes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
Do you have any questions for us, police or fire?
We're good, thank you.
I have, showing a total of $1,218,353.11 for combined payroll.
Make a motion for the stated amount for the combined payroll.
Second.
David, how do you vote?
Yes.
Chairman McKinley?
Yes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
Okay, I think, Cody, I think you might be next. Unless anybody has questions about the bill. Thank you.
At your step, sir.
Gentlemen, thank you. I'll try to be brief. Cody Leever with the Firefighters once again. I know I like to say I don't do this too often, but it seems like the last few months I've had to, unfortunately. But I just wanted to bring to your attention something that we've been working on for quite some time, to get an answer, I suppose, from the city on something that everybody, I think in the city agrees that we need, and that's an enhancement to our EMS service. Basically, relief for our guys out there on the streets. We've been asking for and pushing for and working towards advocating for a 4th ambulance for well over 2 years now. And I provided you there with just some documents, and also just be aware that the chiefs have seen everything that you have, the chiefs have as well. We've been working on this for quite some time now. It starts off with kind of just a timeline of when all of this kind of came to light in this fashion, and that's really in kind of mid-2022, once we found out that South Madison Fire Territory was established, and at the time we had about 12, if not more, of our members in that hiring process to leave and go south. And various reasons, but most importantly, and throughout everybody that applied, it was obviously the higher pay, which that's not what I'm here to talk about, higher pension base, but the reduced run load, workload. You can go down south or even further a little bit into Hamilton County, and you can make a lot more money, bring higher pay, higher pension, and do a lot less work. Our ambulances are running anywhere from 12, 15, sometimes even 20 calls a day, and that is just miles ahead of what anybody else in the state of Indiana, fire-based EMS, is doing. And that's per capita by population. Obviously, Indianapolis does more calls than we do. First of all, they're not fire-based EMS, they're civilian EMS, so they're government workers, but they're also on 12-hour shifts, and they have a whole lot more apparatus and units and personnel out there making those calls.
Is that 20 per bus?
Yes. Our ambulances now are averaging over 12 EMS calls per shift each. So over 36 runs per day. As a department, we're making close to just under 45 calls per day average. Obviously, as you guys know, the bulk of that is EMS. As you both know, I'm sure are well aware that the last time we put an ambulance in service was in the mid-90s, April 1997, I believe. And at that time, if you take the data of an increase of about 3% per year on EMS, we were probably looking at, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me or with us, we couldn't find those, but most likely it was between 5,500 to 6,000 calls per year as a department. We're now making 13,343 EMS calls alone is what we did in 2024. So we've more than doubled our run volume since Medic 3 was put in service almost 30 years ago. So just kind of back to the timeline, we put an EMS committee together on the local side of paramedics that are on the ambulance, paramedics that had just recently come off the ambulance, and some senior paramedics that did a lot of time on the ambulance, maybe back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. And we kind of came up with a recommendation to our union body of, at the time we were losing paramedics faster than we could replace them, and they thought to reduce the workload and burnout, why not look at transitioning from ALS ambulances to BLS ambulances, put 3 ALS squads in service, which is just a one paramedic driving a squad car like the APD officers drive. That way, it's kind of a two-prong approach, and the majority of our engines already are now staffed with a paramedic. So you kind of do a dual ALS engine and squad combination with the BLS ambulances. That would reduce the run load for the paramedics, which those are our most highly trained EMS members out there on the street. So we were trying to do that. We put that committee together. That was the recommendation. So we, the Local 1262 leadership, got together and put a presentation together, worked with the PFWI, the state union, to put some data together as to what other departments neighboring as far as run load are doing. So we put that together. We met with the mayor in February of 2023. He presented that plan. It was costed out. We knew what everything was going to cost. By August of that year, the mayor decided to go the other way with it and apply for a SAFER grant to hire 6 firefighters for a 4th ALS ambulance, which we were fully in support of. We assisted with the grant in every way that we possibly could. Unfortunately, we were denied the grant last fall for reasons I'm not sure of. I think maybe they just ran out of money. Who knows exactly what happened? But immediately we went back to the mayor and attempted to start meeting. The run loads aren't going down just because we didn't get the SAFER grant. And actually, they continue to increase. So we're trying to put this plan back together. We costed it. We put some more data back in front of the mayor of our run load. And we've kind of just been sitting here in this limbo area of not having an answer of what's going on. Carmel has a lateral process open right now through the end of the month. Lawrence Fire Department does have a lateral process. Both kind of the same thing. Pension bases are way up here, and the run road is down here compared to what we do. So we're going to be right back in this boat again. So we're here asking for help. I know that what I'm eventually going to get to the ask is more ceremonial than anything. I know the chief runs the department, and the mayor hires. I guess gives the blessing on the hiring. But state statute does give this board the authority to set the staffing number. And if you guys look through this and see the data that we've provided, I feel like there's no way that you can see that data and really get into it. You can ask questions. Happy to answer anything that we possibly can, but there's no way that we can't acknowledge that the need is there. We've provided a little bit of a financial background from the research that we've done, all based off of Gateway, which is everything that the city's provided the state of Indiana for the past 10 years. We don't feel like we're asking to bankrupt the city. The city is in a very, very good financial situation. They can afford to hire 4 to 6 firefighters to staff this ambulance. We've provided a little bit more data just on the call volumes dating back to 2016, just to kind of show you where we got that number from. There's about a steady increase of about 3% each year. Dating back obviously to 1997, we've more than doubled. We're just basically asking for any help that we possibly can get from anyone at this point. I know the chiefs, we've been working with the chiefs for quite some time now, for months really. I know that they stand in support. I know that they answer to other people as well, just like I answer to my membership. So I can't imagine they can get up here and say, yes, Cody's right on all of this. But an ambulance was purchased. You guys approved that purchase at the last meeting, and it was purchased outright. It wasn't traded in for, and the intent behind that ambulance was for it to be the 4th ambulance. Now maybe it was purchased and ordered at the time when they thought we were going to get the grant. That's a possibility. I'm not sure. But also all of the equipment to stock that ambulance to be an ALS ambulance was purchased in addition to that as well. And it was all put on that truck ready to go to be our 4th ambulance. Unfortunately, it was put in service as a replacement to Medic 1. So now we have 4 backup ambulances to replace one of our 3 frontline ALS ambulances. Our backup ambulances prior to Medic 1 being replaced all have between 95 to 100,000 miles on them. That tends to be the rotation. This newest backup to the 4 now has about 60,000 miles on it. So you can just see that wasn't the plan. The plan was for it to be Medic 4. We're just asking for help. That's all that we're trying to do with this. We believe that the finances are there. The plan is there. We can make it work. We need some help out there. It's been almost 30 years since we've had any EMS enhancements. And when we're talking delayed response, we're probably not able to make between 400 to 600 calls per year that the county is having to come in and take for us, which is bad for the citizens of Anderson. Number 1, that's a delayed response when they're coming from Chesterfield or from Pendleton. They bill higher than we do. Chesterfield and Pendleton both do. They don't bill the minimum like we do for our ambulance runs. But in that, we're also missing out on that billing as well. And these guys are doing an incredible job of keeping up with our equipment, our training, our apparatus. So that's just money that we're leaving on the table by not having this 4th ambulance. So most importantly, the delayed response. If we even that out, we're going to see an ALS unit on scene faster than having to wait for Chesterfield or for Pendleton, not taking anything away from the work that they do. And the majority, like I said, of our engines that are responding, they're ALS as well. We have equipment on engine 2. I mean, we've got ALS response from our engines, but then you're waiting on that transport. We can only do so much off of the fire truck. We're waiting on that transport. So I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm willing to work with anybody, look at anything that we possibly can. We're just trying to get some help out there. Thank you.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, he don't talk up.
I'm not speaking for Dave. As Cody knows, we've both been fire chiefs. I was on the department when there wasn't any paramedics, it was just EMTs. But there's more than one way of handling it. I don't know what the answer really is. I've heard other guys talk about make all the ambulances BLS, because we're running ALS on the pump trucks, then somebody is there that can handle it until the pump truck gets there, but that's not a call that their safety board makes. Again, since we've sat in that seat in the front of the fire station there, we know that a lot of things come from different directions that other people don't see and that the firefighters don't see. Now again, not speaking for the chief either, but since he's a kid, I know he loves the department, we love the department. And we'll back the union or the ministry, whatever it takes, we'll back you all the way. We can't make the decisions, but we're more than understanding about the run load. We understand that.
Chairman, I've been working with the mayor's office to, we've been communicating for several months. Then this House Bill, Senate Bill 1 come up, and there was concerns about, financially being able to put it in service and be able to maintain it. And we have made many enhancements on our EMS. We've had the striker cots, the life packs, our defibs. I've put $1.4 million, $14 million in frontline equipment over 9 years. That's $1.5 million in equipment that we've put in the service. And yeah, there's a need. There's a need for increasing our EMS, and we're working to try to do that. And the president has valid points, and we've been working together. We work together well, and I'd like to continue to work with him and people we need to get to. So.
What was the reason we didn't get the grant?
They ran out of money.
They did?
Never got turned down. There was how much money was available. There was only 2 departments in Indiana that got them. Clendenen was one. Another department was a department of 6. That was a combination department. And we had letters from. I talked to Senator Braun. I talked to Sparks. I talked to Todd Young. I was with Todd Young at the Paramount. I had 3 letters, and I also worked with with the union on the grant, and also worked with International also, and also worked with a lobbyist in Washington D.C., Mr. Hanka, in Washington D.C. on it. And so we crossed our T's. It was reviewed by the union, it was reviewed by me, it was reviewed by our lobbyists in Washington D.C. to get that grant. And I thought we crossed every T and dotted every I to get what we needed to get. But when they only awarded, it's pretty shabby when they only awarded 2 grants in the whole state of Indiana during an election year, and that's very, very disappointing. You're talking to a new fire territory and a department of 6. That means nobody else got that grant. And there's a new grant opening up, but who knows if the president's going to close down FEMA and when we get that grant. So I don't know if we can rely on that moving forward either. So we're working together. Hopefully get something resolved sooner than later, and we'll see what happens. I appreciate you listening to me.
Thank you, Chief. Again, you've done an excellent job. Cody's done an excellent job, and I hope between the 2 of you and the rest of the staff,
Are you
you get something worked out.
Are you taking any questions from the public?
You need to him or to me,
Mm-hmm.
to the chief or to me.
Well, whoever can answer it.
Sure. You want to stand up there?
Rebecca Crooms, what are you talking about? Another vehicle?
Yeah,
And how much money are you talking about?
it depends on your staffing. We went from doing 13,000 runs, and our runs have increased, and I've already increased from 25. Our staffing, we've maintained a good level of staffing of 109, 110 over the last few years, but to put another medic in, you have to increase your staffing to be able to put a 4th medic in. And then we're talking about when you put each personnel is going to cost you about $100,000 a piece. By the time you pay benefits, insurance, and everything, you're looking at about $100,000 per person.
So you need 2 people or 1?
We need more than 2 people. So
6 people?
we
Wait.
put 3 ambulances in. Each ambulance takes 2 people, and you got 3 shifts.
Now, I'm not trying to start nothing, but I live on 32, and I see ambulances running toward Anderson every day. I was wondering why that was happening. So it could be for anything.
That's an easy answer there. The answer why is because you got two hospitals. So, you know, LaPel don't have a hospital, Alexandria don't have a hospital.
So it's not-
Penland don't have a hospital. So you got to realize you're taking the whole 140,000 people in the county and all running into two hospitals.
So
Yeah.
these are not your people. But my concern is if you're 5 or 6 people short and you're in an emergency here, is that putting our population in danger of having to wait if they don't have enough staff?
They may not have the ambulance, I'm speaking for the chief, they may not have the ambulance available that quick to take out a truck, and the truck's got a paramedic on it. So they're having advanced support.
So you're saying they should use the truck then until they...
They should use both. The truck's going. The truck is going on every ambulance run. It's ALS, that truck's
If we had an advanced life support, you're getting one engine and one ambulance. If you have a basic life support, you only get an ambulance.
So the public is not in any extra danger from this situation of a shortage on the fire department?
Just it's more guys are running. Some days they do have 20 runs. It's more wear and tear for the guys.
I'm just checking.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cody. You got something else? Again, it's what the president used and the chief brought up is for you is it's the ambulance guys on the ambulance that are running so many runs they're getting burnt out. You know, so we just have to keep. But that has nothing to do with safety. You know, I mean that's.
Well, indirectly it does if they're burnt out and you got an emergency and.
If there's a truck coming, it has a paramedic on it. Everything they need's on that truck.
Okay.
We have 7 stations that come from 7 different.
So is that your answer for them to start using the trucks then?
They
Since
already do. They use the truck now.
so far as you concerned, then there's no problem then.
They're not transporting. But the advanced.
That's what it sounds.
There because they have.
Well, that's what I'm hearing you say.
They have
So
drug bases and everything they need. And the training, just because they're on a pump truck, not on the ambulance, they have the same training has to be done over and over and over every year.
So what you just said makes me feel like there's really no problem. They can use the trucks. The trucks has the same thing as the ambulance.
Rebecca, the trucks can't transport. So if I show up on engine 2, I'm out on the west side, and we're there for 5-10 minutes, my captain's a paramedic. He's doing everything he possibly can as a paramedic if it's an ALS situation. If all 3 of our ambulances are out and we're waiting on somebody from LaPel, maybe, typically we don't get LaPel, we'll get Pendleton or Chesterfield. But if we're waiting 5-10 minutes for them to come all the way in, that's a delayed response. And that happens more often in Anderson than it does anywhere else because of how busy those 3 trucks are. Now we are there and we are providing, we can keep somebody alive as much as we can possibly do it in the back of the truck if we are an ALS engine, but we can't get them to a hospital. If we added the 4th ambulance, those response time delays are going to be significantly reduced, and it's going to even out that workload between the 4. That's what we're asking. So it's not, you're not getting a service by the engine showing up, but you're not getting transported. That's the in time.
Well, yeah, that could be serious too. And as far as who all y'all answer to, I know y'all appointed, the chiefs are appointed, but the bottom line is they all answer to the public, the voters, because they elect people that they think going to keep them safe. You're what?
We're a little different.
Cause what?
I've got 26 plus, and Dave has over 30 years on the fire department.
Now I know you
So
do.
we understand what's going on there.
So you think everything's all right then with all y'all experience?
Never perfect.
Well, I didn't say perfect. I said all right.
It can always be better.
It can be better.
Always be better. I don't have the fiscal answer and stuff to get it better, but it can be better. And it's like I said. But I'll tell you another thing. It's kind of like blowing smoke. If you have a doctor driving down the road, not an emergency doctor, but a regular doctor, your personal doctor is driving down the road, and that ambulance pulls over, that doctor doesn't have a clue what he's doing. Those ambulances, they handle emergencies. He doesn't handle emergency. He handles colds and flus, and you had this before, well, you've got it again. You know, I'm just telling you what these guys can do. The only people that can equal them or better them in some ways is the ER doctor himself.
Okay, I just want to know.
Thank you. We'll take it under advisement. Have a good night.
Yeah, I just want to know if we are safe or are we in the danger zone.
You're safe. You're safe.
Okay.
Safe as you can be.
So if somebody calls me and said they waited and they couldn't get them to the hospital on time because they had to wait,
They're getting the emergency care they need, and that's when we call it another ambulance. You know,
but they got to wait on that ambulance from another township.
You know what? They come pretty quick.
Okay,
Lights and siren, and get out of their way.
well, I hope we don't run into no problems. Because y'all on film saying it's okay. You got that, Ken?
No, I'm good.
Anybody else have a question? Spencer, how you doing? Good. Bless you. Meeting is excused.
Meeting over with? Oh, y'all, meeting over with. They have a planning commission in 3 minutes, so I'm going to shut this off and I'll be coming back in 3 minutes. But that is something for the John Q. Public, as they say. We need to pay attention to this. It sounds like it's pretty concerning.
Mike, how are you?
That's when they call for a private. I understand all that calling for help and stuff, but when you're in an emergency, you know, you don't have a whole lot of time. So
Yeah, you're the only item on the
the reason I brought that up, my mother